Y'all, we gotta talk. Something that really bothers me about the self-improvement space is that we talk extensively about financial abundance and physical health and mental health at this point even. And we talk about spirituality. There are a ton of spiritual podcasts and coaches out there, and thank God for that. We need to understand who we are in the grand scheme of things, right? Like, that's important. But as someone that has been on this path for half of her life, I realized that there is a missing secret third ingredient, and that ingredient is creativity. And I wish it was a very easy thing to tackle, but it's not. And if you're watching this video and you're like, yeah, I'm healthy, I'm rooted in some spiritual practice, but you're still feeling stuck, you're probably missing creativity. And if you have creativity, but you're still feeling stuck, you're probably stuck in one of these three levels. And I know this because I have wallowed and whined in each of these three phases longer than I probably should have. Let's set the scene a little bit here, okay? I have taken care of my physical health since I was 12, 13. I was really overweight as a child. It ruined my self-esteem. Like, that was a thing that I learned would make me not only feel good, but be socially accepted, was my physical health. And, you know, having a healthy, organic, whole food lifestyle, whatever you want to put on it, has been very natural to me because I've been doing it for so long. And then my mental health and spirituality are pretty intertwined in that I got really into meditation when I was 16, almost 15 years ago. And I understood my part in the world. I understood that I was connected to something bigger than myself. And I think that notion is really, really important. And so now we look back the last 10 years of my career, and I have chased this very exciting, very rewarding, and very unconventional career in marketing in the music industry. You know, I've helped manage artists that have played Coachella and Red Rocks, and I've done partnerships with Metro Boomin and Kimbra for tech companies, and I'm feeling very grateful for that. And so I have seen the fruits of my labor in many ways. But at the ripe age of 28, I realized my life still sucked. And I didn't really understand why. I was very confused because when it came to the wellness rubric, I felt I was doing all the things that should tell me that I'm living a good, fulfilled life. You know, I'm taking care of my health, my financial, physical, mental health. You know, I'm connected to my spirituality. And so I was just like, okay, well, if I'm doing the right things, like I'm pretty certain I'm doing the right things, maybe I just need to do more of the right things. And so I upped everything. I went to more therapy. I listened to more financial podcasts. I worked out more. I woke up earlier. I got more sober. I meditated and prayed more. I journaled. I was like, this has got to be it. I just got to do more. And I did more and more and more for 3 months. And I was like, this isn't helping. This is not working. Something is wrong. My life is still sucking. It's still like I could feel this like, the stuckness. And then I had this very, very clear moment. I was on the couch watching TV with my fiance, and I went to the bathroom. TMI, but I was peeing, and I got this message from God, this download from the universe that just said, you are not doing what you are supposed to be doing, as in watching TV after work. It was very clear. I was just like, I'm not supposed to be doing this. I'm meant for more. And for whatever reason, this book, The Artist's Way, popped into my head because it had been recommended to me many moons ago by a friend, and then recommended to me again like 4 months ago by some random stranger at a party. And so I was like, someone told me that this would help, like I should try this. And I bought The Artist's Way, which that book is all the rage now. It's by Julia Cameron, and you reconnect to your creativity. And so I dove into that wholeheartedly for 3 months. And that book had such a profound effect on me. I reconnected to my creativity. And that was a very interesting point, because for the last 10 years, I thought that I was only supposed to work for creatives, that I was the one that was just supposed to be, behind the scenes, pulling strings, so that way other creatives could realize their dreams. And that book made me realize that I'm a creative with my own dreams. Looking back, what I took away from it, and it feels like such a duh moment now, is that I don't understand why we're not prioritizing our creativity. Look around. There's like 8.7 million species on this planet. Like, the fact that penguins and, those really colorful birds in the Amazon, macaws and toucans and anacondas all exist at one time, and we're not even going to get into what's at the bottom of the ocean. Like, the fact that all of these living entities exist at one time on this planet is sheer creativity. Like, that is a sheer stroke of creativity. How are we not going to participate in that process ourselves? That makes no sense to me. When I think about that, I have to believe that when we're not connected to our creativity, we are stifling our collective evolution. We are not doing our part. That was the feeling of stuckness I realized I was having. I was feeling stuck. I was feeling wrong because I wasn't contributing to life itself. I was not creating. I was literally not participating in the dance that is life itself. Let's let that sit for a moment, okay? Just think about early humans. Someone had to be creative enough to be like, oh, what happens if I rub these two sticks together? Okay, I'll let you fill in the blanks there. Like, we have evolved because we have chosen over and over and over to be creative, to think differently. So step 1 is make art. Start by reading The Artist's Way if you would like. Make art and play. Have a playful attitude towards all of this, because that's what life is. Life is all play and creativity. It is this force, right? And you will immediately see the payoff by getting past level 1. The first payoff was that I felt really connected to myself. Being able to take something that's in your mind and be curious about it and then bring it into the physical form is wild. Like, I started painting and making weird fashion choices and getting back into graphite and embroidery. Like, I was doing all of these things and it felt really good. I was like, oh, this is like what's inside my head. And work became easier because all of a sudden I was becoming even more creative when it came to my problems. Oh, well, what if we did it this way? New neural pathways were being formed, okay? The third payoff was that I gained clarity in my life's direction because I was now engaging with the same force that drives that direction, creativity. I was now dancing in that creative river. And fourth, I was constantly inspired because now I understood how creative life was. And even though I was getting these amazing results, I was starting to clear that feeling of unstuckness. It did not end there. I'm creating, we're all creating, we're making art. But the universe was telling me, you're not done yet. Like, I need more from you. That's what I was hearing. And I was like, what? Like, what do you mean? And it wasn't until I connected with the medium of writing, the sheer reward of diving into the creative lifestyle is you just find these new mediums and you kind of unlock what you're really good at. And when I started writing, I just started writing about my insights and commentary about life. This was very interesting because I had now reconnected with the thing that 7-year-old Alexandra loved. 7-year-old Alexandra loved to write. I remember in 2nd grade, every morning we'd have to write like on this note on our notebooks, like a story about something. And I remember people would always struggle, like you'd have to write a page, and people would always struggle to write enough to fill that page. And I remember writing no problem, front and back, every morning. And my teacher being like, wow, this is really good. And I connecting to my writing now was so interesting because it felt like I had just came back to my unique gift, this thing that I had repressed for so long. And that really got me thinking about how everyone has their unique gift that has been stuffed inside and repressed and conditioned out of. But when I started writing, I realized that this was what the universe needed from me. I realized that I was supposed to share these things, these thoughts. Like I was supposed to share my gift with the world. And this led me to my next insight, which is that just creating is not necessarily enough. We have these unique gifts for a reason. It's not to really just like pull out at a party. We are assigned these unique gifts because we are meant to impact someone else with them. My writing is supposed to make someone feel a certain way. Something in my unique gift will strike a chord with someone else so that way they can connect better to their unique gift. And this is how we evolve. By not sharing your unique gift, you're stifling our collective evolution again. That's like that next feeling of stuckness. You can't keep it to yourself. It's not meant to be kept to yourself. You're meant to share it. And because of my career in marketing, it was very intuitive for me to realize that I needed to start sharing on social media. It's literally the most accessible way to make an impact and to reach a mass amount of people. I want to pause here because I think I've been throwing around like being an artist and being creative, but I really am talking about the act of creation. If you're creating a brand or a community, or you just have this writing, you have a set of teachings that you know that you've gained through your own life experience, like that is all an act of creation. There's a reason why you had that idea to bring that forth into this physical world, right? So I'm really talking like level 2, you could be building any of these things. You're just in this act of creating and you know you're meant to share it. So when we talk about the act of creation and bringing the things that are in our heads, these ideas, and translating them into the physical world, we are literally building a new world. I feel deeply that this world is supposed to be kinder and more compassionate and healthy and sustainable. And there are people with our unique gifts that are aligned in this mission, in this calling, that hold the same vision for this new world. I call these people New World Alchemists. So we've connected to our creativity and we've realized our unique gift. We know we're meant to share it, but then we get here. I bought my tripod and mic and it sat unused for 6 months because I was scared. I was scared and I was overwhelmed and just so much fear around it. I kept saying like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do it today, and that day just never came. And it wasn't until I aligned myself with other people that shared the same goal, that shared the same passion and purpose and this want to share online. And that was when I gleaned my next insight, which is that building a better world does not happen in isolation. It does not happen in a vacuum. Building a new world is actually a very large task, and we must do it together. Things are a lot less scary when you're doing it alongside others. And this was really when I unlocked that next level. Like I really broke through. By showing up alongside other people that shared my same goal and were chasing that same path, I kept going. I showed up and I started posting and I kept posting. And 9 months later, I've grown 22,000 followers, and I find that this is really what creativity is trying to get to. I realize that this is really the last tool of self-improvement as I see it, because I realized a few things. One, I've unlocked my potential. I really am now understanding that I can do anything I want. I can change my reality, and I can also have a positive impact on people. That like my unique gift genuinely changes how people think and has a positive impact on someone's life. Like that is a really beautiful thing. So I'm very grateful to be next to others that are on this path with me. And I also see that I approach social media differently than a lot of people, because I've now passed it through this like spiritual lens in which I see creativity and life itself. And that really changes the game, because I'm not on this hamster wheel. I realize that I'm not a slave to the algorithm. I really show up intentionally on social, and I show up really as me, like no filter, this is who I am. And that's a really powerful place. That's when like real impact happens. You know, I think that's why we get stuck on level 2 as a creative, is we think that we can't show up as ourselves. And that's just not true. And we also think we have to do it alone, which is why we get stuck on level 3. And I just realized that that didn't have to be the case. If you're feeling stuck on level 2 or 3 and you're right there, like you have your unique gift, or you just feel really alone or just like overwhelmed to show up online and like really make an impact with your unique gift, I would love to work with you. I've created a really special group container called Intentional Impact Immersion. It's 8 weeks long. If you're feeling really called to what I said today, if you're feeling like you really align with this mission, really usher in a kinder, compassionate, more aligned, sustainable world, please reach out to me. Book a free strategy call. Let's see if we're a good fit together. I only have a limited number of spots because I really want to keep it sacred. I want to keep it intentional and really impactful and make sure that everyone feels really supported, because that's often what we don't get. Book a call at the link below. We'll build a roadmap together and see if you're a good fit for Immersion, and we'll go from there. I'll see you in the next video. Love you.